changing lives.
Hello, good evening. It's a beautiful Tuesday and you are welcome to Love at Home. Thank you so much for always being with us. We love you so much because of the feedbacks we are getting. And we believe that we are practicing these things we are discussing here in your various homes. It's, as usual, the program is Love at Home. Let me also invite you to join us through Facebook, YouTube, and on our WhatsApp line 0559680066. 0559680066. I am your usual host, Efia Sewa Mansa. And today, I have very interesting, experienced people to help us discuss a very sensitive topic. On my immediate left is Pastor Dr. Josiah Ando. He calls himself the Love Consultant, and you understand why he calls himself Love Consultant. Doctor, you are welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Ghana ba.
Oh yeah.
I love your dress.
Thank you.
I hope everything is fine.
Very well.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another beautiful and sweet woman, Counselor Perfect, Mrs. Odru. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
God's grace, I'm good.
That's
How are you
good.
too?
I am good.
Yeah, I can see.
Last week, I heard your voice on so many platforms talking about love. Yeah. And I know today we also get our share.
Yes.
So on this note, let me welcome you and my guests to Love at Home. Let's go for a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I'll introduce you to our topic for today. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Nia onyankopon hwehwa ane se onipa bia bedi yie e wasase so. Eno ti adwuma bia wo ye no, wo hia ho nimdie ene nkyerɛkyerɛ papa. Mpanifo se sanwa beba kontomre enkwan ani a na eginemu nam so. Eno nti na Hope Channel edi dwumadi a ye frɛ ne se Business Forum abrewo. Yawada nwumre no nwotwe bia me kyerɛ 8 pm. Hia me na nakwa mesika. Me ne mpanimfo a waben no wadosukɔ e wo sikasɛmu. Adwadie mu ene enwuma mu besi nkonya ne amaw nkyerɛkyerɛ papa a ɛbɛboaw na nso watimi atumpɔn piao.
Mimi da kwanhwefo mema ye wo Northern Ghana Union Conference bosumi mienu ya ye wo mu da etoso aduonunum eye 25th February afiye ya ye wo mu yi ena ye da eye amde no eba so ye pese ye fa akwanya kase onyame dia mayen na club 500 a na ebota ye ene se ye pese ye pagya nyamsem kan wo radio so ye pese ye fa asofo ede wo boa adwuma e wo mbeaya a ebehia wo mu a ye pese ye boa isirimu mansini ni nyina na asofo etimi enya means of transport bukia faso se ye moto se ye ka no manante mu aye hare ama wo mu na fe ye boa asondan sie ahodo obotaye nan no ene ye pese ye launch club 500 no yes ya mo no se obia en register meme dani oba obema fa wudin ebra so saada no afei fa code we star 928 star 34 star 101 hash star 928 star 34 star 101 hash we any code a oba steps a we be follow na watumi edo contribution aba no obetumi atu ho anam amaye medam ase am obi afa no ho hyem mema ne ma nyina ne nya awurade adwuma hye nanim amen. All right, my God.
for staying tuned. You are welcome. And the program is Love at Home. Today, we want to look at love languages. I'm sure you are surprised. Yes, love too has a language. But how do we understand? How do we appreciate? And if somebody is exhibiting it, how do we relate to that language the person is trying to exhibit? This is what we are discussing today. Join me with my panelists as we delve more into it. And I know you appreciate this discussion better. Stay tuned. Let me go straight to Mrs. Odru. Mrs. Odru, they say love has a language. How factual is this?
Good evening to everybody, especially Domia SDA Church. And my mother, she's watching. Mami Kuma, I salute her.
Mami Kuma, thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
When we talk about love language, we all have our love language, how we express our love. Example is, you be a young gentleman, Kofi, was dating Ama. And they have been in a relationship for 2 years. But Kofi has never verbally said anything like, I love you to Ama. So Ama is concerned that he shows care and everything, out of service and everything. We'll come to the types. But he has not said, I love you. And those endearing words, words of affirmation, nothing has been said. But Kofi rented an apartment for Ama. Kofi was, because Ama's dad passed away, so he rented an apartment when she needed that help. Kofi was the one who paid for things that she needed, her bills and others. He was supporting Ama. And she was thinking that if I'm supporting you, it should show that I love you, I care about you. Because with this economy, it's difficult that you are not my sister. You are not a relative. But if I go off my way to do everything, call you, check up on you, buy groceries for you, it should communicate that I love you. But Ama is having thoughts, having she's dismayed. And she is having conflict with Kofi is not in love with me. Maybe Kofi is loving somebody else. But you could see that these two people, they are expressing their love in different languages.
Wow.
So as human as we are, and the love language that we are talking about, what you are coming to discuss is from your childhood. How you grew up, your younger years growing up, the attachments that you form. So we have the attachment styles, we have the secure one, we have the avoidant, we have the 4 types. So if we're growing up and you were lacking certain things, when you grow up, that is what you want. If you were with a family that mostly they don't give you that you are good, or what you are doing, they don't praise you, they don't affirm you. When you grow up, you constantly seek it from somebody that you love, your significant other, your spouse. You want to hear those words from them. But if they don't, you feel like, okay, that love that I was lacking in my childhood, it seems I'm not receiving it here. But your spouse could have been going all over, trying to secure the home, providing for the home. He thinking that I want to provide. As a man, this is what I am also doing. I love my family, so I'm also out there struggling to bring something home. And this is me showing love to my family. So that is it. We all have our languages based on our growing up, our attachment styles and all that. And it's important to know.
My lovely viewer, I told you, stay tuned. You will hear more. Now, love consultant.
Yes, madam.
From what counselor is saying, it affirms it.
Yes.
That is factual.
Yes, that is true. But people really didn't pay attention to it until one seasoned counselor, Gary Chapman, popularized the idea. In fact, every time we are talking about love languages, we mention Gary Chapman.
Okay.
And he's written a very popular book named The 5 Love Languages. Many scholars have come to agree that truly, when it comes to expressing love and when it comes to receiving love, they are done in these 5 ways.
Okay.
Now, he's used the idea of language. Now, this is the point. The point is that different people speak different languages. When, assuming you are born an Akan, you grow up with your mother and you speak Akan, you understand Akan. if you meet somebody who is Spanish and the person begins speaking the Spanish to you, you may not get to know what the person is saying. And I mean, if you also speak your account to the person may not understand. The only time the two of you would come to understand each other is when you learn to speak each other's languages.
Okay.
So the understanding is that when it comes to the normal languages that we have, we each have different languages that we speak. And so I would have to necessarily learn your language to be able to communicate. Now, we are able to talk here because we are all speaking English. Now, assuming one of us was speaking Nauri, I speak Nauri, one of us was speaking Nauri, the rest will not understand. And it will be like, what at all is he saying? Now, when this is brought to love, there are different ways in which people show that they love others. And there are different ways in which people feel loved when others relate to them. So that when you look at somebody in a particular way, the person would feel that, wow, the way you are looking at me, it means you really like me or you really love me. Or if you are talking to somebody, the person would feel like the way you are talking to me, it means you are expressing love. But how I understand love in terms of expression and in terms of receiving it from somebody depends on what we will call my primary love language. So Gary Chapman talks about 5, but he says that we all love to be treated in these 5. I mean, there's nobody who wouldn't like any of them at all. But for each one, you have a primary love language. In other words, there is one that you find as, when that one is done, you appreciate it better. You feel loved more. And when you want to show love, there is one of them that you prefer to show. And that is how it is. So these are very important. And like she concluded, it is important that everyone who relates with somebody else, it's important that you try to understand yourself and your partner so that we can together show love.
All right, so Pastor just said that it is important I get to understand myself before I can understand you. How do I get to understand myself?
You see, mostly you can't give what you don't have. You can't pour from an empty cup. So you must first of all love yourself and know what takes you. If you talk about love, what do I describe love to be? Because with your show, we have talked extensively about what love is and all others. So to me, it could be that words of affirmation. As I said earlier on, growing up, our experiences tend to form our ideas about love, and it sticks with us to be our love language. So words of affirmation is when you tell me that you love me, when you tell me that I'm beautiful, when you tell me that you love me, I'm yours. You see, the endearing words, people like it. So this is not to female and male. No, it's not gender-based. Because you realize that some male also, when they were growing up, they were lacking those things. So when you marry them and you are able to tell them, I love you. You tell them today you are looking handsome. You tell them those words. You can conquer. You are the best. I thank God for having you. It seems God created you for me.
You are my champion.
You are my champion. You see, they go out there and they are happy. They excel in whatever they do. So such people is the words of affirmation for them. Then we have people to the art of service. So when you talk about art of service, you realize that some people complain that I do the work alone in the house. My parent, my spouse is not helping out and all the rest. You can give her all the gifts in the world. You can say how beautiful she is, the words of affirmation, but if we are not there to help with the children, if we are not there to help her cook, if we are not there to do the laundry, if we are not there to do something in the house, she feels that you don't love me enough. So with this, you realize that when you were dating, when you were courting, because we're not staying together, you notice certain things. But that is the time that you should also be able to identify your partner's love language and know yours. So first of all, know the type that you are, so it will be easy for you to communicate it to your partner. Because if I know that is the acts of service for me, that is what I'll be looking for in a spouse. So if you come together with a prospective spouse, I'll be trying to check this. Because I quite remember that when I wanted to get married, that's one thing that personally I was using. So when you come, I had a fan and I pull one bolt off.
Oh.
So yes, you see, when they come around and I switch it on, those who are concerned realize that, what's happening? Let me fix it.
Your
Or
room
call
is too hot.
call the electrician. Let's fix it. But so this, you can't do it. Then they will sit and go. Then I cancel your name out. You are not helpful.
Yeah.
I need somebody who is serviceable, who is handy around the house. So you must know what you want so that you go in for the type. So you don't stress yourself that much. And again, we say that we have the quality time. People want you to spend quality time with them. That is, work is important, but make time to be with me at home. You travel, you go to trek and all that, but you realize that with all this we are saying, you will realize that if your partner complains more about it, if they nag you more about it, it means that that is the area that they are more, concerned, and that is the language they want you to speak to them. That is what they want you to nurture. And if they praise you when you do certain things, so if you give the quality time, you give the acts of service, they praise you and all that, but the rest, they are not the words of affirmation. You telling me I'm good, I'm that, and I'm not giving you the praise, but I rather praise you more on the quality time. Then you have to realize that this is the love language, so I must do this more. And you know that for marriage, if you want to make it work, it's work. You need to put in the effort, and your partner is the prime motive. So you need to do things that your partner like. And I always say this, the Bible says that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. But with the Bible, it's good. But when it comes to marriage and the love language and all that, you must love your partner as your partner wants.
Yes.
Not as you want.
Yeah.
You must be you might be giving me quality time, but I want the physical touch. I want hug. I want you to touch me. I want you to give me massage. I want you to cuddle me. You realize that what we are talking about, we have people who are like that. When you meet them, they easily want to hug you, even in the church. We have the huggers, they want to hug you. And when they see you, they just want to touch you. They want to do something. So if you are their partner, you must know that you must always have that physical contact with them. Oh, the sexual aspect is there.
Yeah.
You realize that some people even like that more to the others. So if you're not giving it to me, it becomes a big issue. Some people, if it's not even in a week, you don't give it to them, it becomes issue. And this is not just gender.
Yeah.
It's not just the male, females also. But you realize that some people, they don't care that much. A month, 2 months. But if you are able to do the art of service, give me quality time, words of affirmation and all that, I'm okay. So
okay.
You must know. And as I said, love your partner as your partner wants you to love them. Not by force, this is what I want, so I'm doing it. Just appreciate it. There will not be any peace.
Interesting. Now, Pastor,
yes,
she ended at a point that we should love, or we should give it to them the way they want it, not. Now, how do I get to know what my partner wants?
Well, before I even go there,
okay.
There are 5. She actually discussed 4.
Okay. Receiving gifts.
And left out gifts.
Okay.
So that there are people who will, look, you do everything for the person, but the person will say, you don't love me. Why? Because you have, ever since we met, you've never given me a gift. Now what it means is that this person's primary love language is receiving of gifts. In other words, the person would really love it if you present a gift. Now, so how will the question was, how will I get to know?
Yeah.
So of course, somebody has said that if you want to know what your enemy fears, you should look at what they use to scare you. Yeah. Okay, so if he uses a frog to scare you, most probably he's afraid of a frog. Right. So in the same vein, if the person seems to be expressing love in a particular way, then it is possible that that is how the person wants to be loved. So let me just give an example. Somebody who would always want to, and every single phone call, I love you. Every single thing that you do, I am proud of you. Your dress is nice. You can tell that this person loves to express love by giving words of affirmation. It's like the person wants to tell you all the time. So you realize that, oh, this person would also love to be told all the time. And when you don't tell, you can do whatever. But when you don't speak it out, the person may not feel. And somebody who, for example, loves to express love by acts of service. It may not be the fun like she's talking. You may be walking and holding just your phone. The person wants to hold your phone for you, hold your bag for you. Now, any kind of thing that you need, it's like the person is there
available
for you. You know, such a person normally would like to express love by giving acts of service. So it is just by looking at what a person does. There are some people who would just like to spend quality time with you. Just that. The person would simply, right, whether you give the person a gift, no matter what, all that he wants is that he just wants to spend time with you. She just wants to spend time with you. Doing what? Maybe watching the sun go to sleep, or watching the waves at the seashore. Just some quality time of the two of you alone. And then, of course, she talked about people who like to express love by physical touch. Now, when it comes to physical touch, yes, the huggers are there. There's somebody who will not finish a sentence without touching you. By the time you are done talking, he's driving and his hand is on your thigh throughout the drive, you know, and all that. Talking and beating you, talking and touching your hair, touching your face, touching your shoulder, and all that. Such people feel that they should express love by that kind of, and of course, the issue of gifts. Now, the point is that everybody loves all of these. Mm-hmm. There's nobody who will say, when you tell me that you love me, I will not be happy. There's nobody who will say that when you spend quality time, you have stuff to do, but you've decided to come and spend it with me, they will not be happy with you. There's nobody who will tell you that, for me, I don't like gifts. If you give gifts, people love to receive gifts. Everybody loves to receive gifts. There's nobody who will say that when you hug me, because hugging is sweet, it feels good. So when you hug me, when you give me a massage, you know, those touches, they feel good. And there's nobody who will say, when you help me, I wouldn't be happy. So everybody loves to be treated by these. So let's not get it confused. What you need to note is that there is one of them that supersedes the others. And that is where you need to watch out. If you are with somebody and when I tell you I love you, it feels good. You respond positively. When I offer acts of service, you respond positively. When I give you a gift, you are happy and all that. But maybe when I give you a gift, you are happy, hey, thank you for the gift, but you just pack it somewhere. It tells me that, well, you like gifts, everybody does, but maybe gifts may not be
your primary,
your thing. But look at somebody who is still keeping the teddy bear that was given to her when she was 10 years. Mm-hmm. It is still on her bed. Mm-hmm. She cherishes that gift, probably better than the acts of service that somebody offered. So you need to watch out for these things. However, the surest bet to know is to take a standardized test.
You mean a test?
Yes, it's not a medical test. Now, when it comes to issues of human behavior, there are standardized tests that exist. Now, all these that I have mentioned have to do with you knowing by observation. Okay. But it is best to take a test. It is very standardized, so you are being asked a number of questions. Okay, so if I'm taking the test, I'm being asked, okay, between this and that, which one will you better appreciate? Maybe there are some of the tests that may ask you for, that may give you a scale. Yeah. Some may not give you a scale. They will rather give you, choose between this and that. Yeah. Both are good. You like both. But which one will you love more? And so when you answer these questions, at the end of the day, you will realize that you'll be tilting toward one of them, which is likely to score higher than the rest. And then you can tell that, oh, so this is who I am. This is what I love. I mean, this is how I love to be loved, or this is how I love to show love.
Show your love.
Now, if I do so, and my partner does so, then the two of us will get to know that, oh, we are the same, we speak the same language. Or normally in most cases, partners will be speaking different languages. And that is one of the issues that we face in some relationships and marriages.
So what if I'm not able to communicate my love? What happens?
You see, as Dr. rightfully said, most people don't speak the same love language per their upbringing. And we are unique people with different experiences. So you realize that if I don't speak your love language, you have different ones. Because you want to have peace in the home, you need to do things that I like. If it's the quality time, if it's the art of service, I need to do that for you. Whilst you also do the words of affirmation, you do the physical touch service for me. Because you realize, as I said earlier on, you must treat me as I want to be treated. If it's not demeaning, things that is outside the biblical perspective,
or
beliefs and all that, you should do it for the peace of the marriage. You see, sometimes we mostly hear that a wife who is having everything at a beck and call, she's having an affair with somebody you just can't imagine. That why that person leaving everything and going low to that. And when you inquire, my husband does not have time for me. I'm just here. Can I eat the building? Can I eat this? Can I eat that? Means that she wants the quality time. It might be that her basic love language is the quality time, or the physical tie that she is not having. So if you refuse, if you don't know your partner's love language, mostly it causes stress in your relationship. You tend not to understand each other. You realize that you are doing your best, but it seems she's not appreciating it. She also realized that I'm complaining, but it seems you are not hearing me. What's going on? But if you tend to understand that this is what means love to her. If I do this, it means love to her. And if I do this for my husband, it means love to him. Then you try to do that more. You also try to show your wife love in the way that she wants it. Then there'll be peace in the home. And you realize that with all this, we are having children, we are grooming for the future. So if you are always nagging, if you are always complaining, and you don't understand yourself, your wife is not appreciating you. So you tend to be alone in your study, you tend to spend your time in the church, you tend to stay most of the time in the work. Sometimes you close at 5, but you linger 7, 8, you just get home, eat, sleep, and you don't want to have any unpleasant complaints and encounter.
Telling you that we are waiting for the traffic to go down.
But mostly they are avoiding the complaints that they are going to meet at home. You realize that you yourself, you are not happy. Or
maybe the home environment is simply not conducive.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right? So the person is trying to dodge the home. So they just come in, you are asleep, you can't nag, you can't complain. And you yourself, you realize that for the health-wise and everything, it's not good. The more you have this cordial relationship with your partner, you are at peace with yourself. And from the home, we transit it to the church environment, to our workplace. Because when you are happy, you go to work, you are very productive.
Yes.
When you are happy, you go to church, it's easy for you to open up and worship God. But when you are not happy, you have issues. Because of your emotional issues, you are clouded. You are not able to give off your best. And the children are also learning. And you know that with the family, we are grooming them. So they tend to have this taught views about love and about father's role, about mother's role and all that. So it's best that we all know our love language and we act to our partners accordingly. Because mostly we don't have the same. You and your husband might be speaking different, but you need to give to your husband as he wants you to, and the husband needs to give to the wife as the husband wants. Yes, but the major fact is you need to observe them closely. I always say this, if you are married to somebody, even when you are courting, you should be able to pick certain things that they like. Because if it's my birthday and I want to give, if it's my husband's birthday and I want to give a gift, I want to do something meaningful. I've been with him for quite a time now. This is the 11th year. So I must be able to know what he likes. If it's the physical touch, if it's the words of affirmation, if it's the gifts, you must know. So if it's with all these years, the nagging, the complaint, the little fight, even them coming out to tell you and still you ignore them, sometimes it means that you don't hold your partner to that high esteem, the priority, yes. But your partner should be your number one priority.
Okay, so yes, so it's possible that I have my partner as number one. And I am doing all I can.
To you?
Exactly, so long as I'm concerned, I'm doing all I can to let him know, to let her know that, sweetheart, I love you. Therefore, for example, I would decide that I will always help her in the kitchen. I'll always help her with the kids. I'll always help her when she's doing something, she's finding difficulty. I would want to do that. Now, what it means is that so long as I am concerned, the best way to show love is to show acts of service. And I feel like, oh, I am the most loving husband. But maybe she is there brooding. This man, he's good. He's this. He's this. And what I'm about to say, or some of the things that I'm about to say, are things that I hear from of course, I'm not mentioning any name. He's good, he's this, he's that. But since we got married, he has never bought for me even a piece of candy. So I don't even see that he loves me. And then I'll begin asking the questions. Does he do this? Does he do that? Yeah, he does this. He does that. He does that. Then I will say, then he loves you. Except that you seem to better appreciate another form of love. Because the man is going all out to offer acts of service. Or maybe there's this wife who is trying all her best. She's busy and all, but every time she would want to put the children to sleep, to come and sit beside you, to watch your boring football. You know, she wants to follow you wherever you are going. You can tell that this woman is actually giving you quality time, or she wants to give you quality time. But what this man really probably wants is for this woman to just hold him. But she wants the quality time, but without the physical touch. So, she said that you will need to speak what your partner wants to speak. But there are couples that I have handled. Okay, I really want to love my partner. I really want to show the love. But the point is, I don't know how to. All right? I started by talking about real languages.
Pastor.
Yes.
If they don't know how to,
then
pause
you have
on
to.
there.
Okay.
Let's go for a break. When we come back, Pastor, you will tell us how to go about it.
All right.
My lovely viewer, please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
The Northern Ghana Union Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church Women's Ministries Department, in conjunction with Adventist Men Ministries and Family Ministries Department, bring to you a one-day singles retreat. Date 6 March 2023. Venue Barikese Dam Site. Time 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Rate 50 Ghana cedis. Speaker Reverend Dr. Mrs. Cynthia Bonsu, Marriage Counselor. Performing Singing Group Celestial City Choir. Host Mrs. Vida Linda Jesse, Women and Children's Ministries Director, and Pastor Paul Dankwa, Personal Ministries Director. Buses will be advantage places to convey us to the site.
We had a similar program last year at Techima, Valley View Campus, and a lot of people who came there received their breakthrough. They got their partners when they came there. I'm therefore inviting you to take this opportunity and be part of this important program. Don't delay. Come and receive your blessing as well.
Don't miss this interactive and educative program. See you there.
Mimi da kwanhwefo mema ye Northern Ghana Union Conference bosumi mienu ya ye wo mu da etoso aduonunum 25th February afiye ya ye wo mu yin na ye da ye amde no eba so ye pese afa akwanya kese onyame dia mayen na club 500 na ebota ye ene se ye pese ye pagya nyamsem kan wo radio so ye pese ye fa asofo ede wo boa adwuma wo mmea ya ebehia wo mu a ye pese ye boa isirimu mansini ni nyina na asofo etimi enya means of transport bukia faso se ye moto se ye ka no manante mu aye hariama wo mu na fe ye boa asondan sie ahodo obota ye nan no ene ye pese ye launch club 500 no ye sremo no se obia en register meme dani oba obema fawudin ebra so saada no afei fa code we star 928 star 34 star 101 hash star 928 star 34 star 101 hash we any code a steps I will be follow na watumi edo contribution aba no obetumi atu ho na mama medam o se am obi afa no ho hyem mema ne ma nyina yenye awurade adwuma hye na nyam amen alright my God stand with the wule
Hello, my dear. You are welcome back. You are watching Love at Home, and we are discussing love languages. Dog, you were telling us something.
Yes. Just before we went on break,
Yes.
I was saying that there's somebody who says, I really want to show love. I want to speak my wife's love language. I want to speak my husband's, but I don't know how to. So the person would, for example, say, my wife loves to be told, I love you. My wife prefers words of affirmation. But I really don't know how to say it because growing up, it's difficult for me to say. So if that is your problem, then you would have to learn. Because like we said, no matter what you do, so long as you are not speaking the person's love language, you will simply not be communicating. So you can do all that you want to do, but you need to learn to say, I love you. Now, if the person prefers, acts of service, you don't know how to do it. You really don't know how to, try to help somebody out, do this, do that. You would have to learn to cultivate it. And then, once you learn to cultivate it, you express. How do you learn? You learn by practice. When it comes to languages, if I want to start speaking French, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever, I would have to start practicing. That is how we learn languages. It applies to love. So I have to practice. So if your wife, your husband prefers words of affirmation, you can start with text messages. Send a text messages. Say, sweetheart, I love you. Sweetheart, you are beautiful. My dear, I'm saying again, whatever, just start saying it. And the more you practice it, the more it becomes a part of you. And that is how you can learn to speak your partner's love language.
My lovely viewer, let me remind you that they can send in your contributions, your questions and suggestions to 0559 680066. 0559 680066. Now, Councillor Perfect.
Yes, you see, Doctor was talking about words of affirmation. So let me take it one. Words of affirmation. You see, if your wife starts in the morning, she dresses up. Just I like, you are beautiful when you wear this dress. And mostly the husband, they observe. Because when I was bringing this dress, it's my husband who picked this. I wanted to wear, I like red. Personally, I'm a red person, so I have a lot of red dresses. So I pulled one and said, red again. Hey, Ade. This material suits you. Yeah. So when he said it, I was like, okay. I wanted red, But since he said this suits me, okay, I'm wearing it for you. So when I was going to say, wonderful.
That's great.
So I was like, hey, you get it. So it's the little things. When you notice something about your partner, don't keep it inside. Tell them. The more you tell them, they go out there. When a different person says it, it doesn't become anything new. Because what I'm saying is it's not gender issues. The men also like it. If doctor is nicely dressed, the tie and everything, the wife does not mostly like to comment and say anything, but he likes the words of affirmation. And we have this particular person in the work always saying, I like your shirt, I like your tie, and they'll come and touch it. You realize that it gets to a time he forms attachment with such people with no intention. I'm not talking about, there's no evil thought, but they like the person because they're having a soft spot for them because of the words that they are hearing. But you, the wife, you are not saying it. So it goes both ways. So if you were a wife and you realize that this is what your husband likes, try to do it. And we have said 5. So you try to, if you don't know the particular love language of your partner, it's best that now you know the words of affirmation, you know the quality time, you know the acts of service, receiving gifts, and the physical touch. You just try experimenting on this area. The one that they give you more response. More, then realize that this is what my partner wants. And we have the basic, we have the secondary. But we all prefer the basic more than the secondary. And when you come to the receiving of gifts, you know that we have the spenders and we have the savers and investments. So if you are the type that you like to save, you like to invest, but your partner's love language is receiving gifts, they always want to spend. You must be able to break the gap. You know that, yes, strike a balance. You know that if I give this to her, she will love it. And she will love me more. And one thing is, if you do those things, you get points. They won't become peaceful. You see the smiles and how they open up to you. Even the children, they don't beat them that much because they are happy. They'll be singing the hymns and every little, please, are you calling me? I'm here. You understand? You realize that sometimes, if even with our husbands, we are all married, so if you do certain things that they like, you realize that before you wake up, you might want to wake up to go and cook for the morning and, oh, you are tired, sleep. Then they'll be in the kitchen doing everything, say, hey.
Yeah, so what it means is that the person is actually given acts of service.
Acts of service. Because of what you did, they are coming in to help you with what you want. So as we are saying it, try to know your partner's love language, as practice all what we have discussed today. And when you come to the physical touch, you realize that most people want it. And this should not be limited to people who want the physical touch only. If you're a married person, you should mostly try to have physical touch with your partner in the day before they go out. Even when they are not there, you realize that if your husband is not around, if your partner is not around, you wear their clothes or you smell their perfume. They are one shirt that mostly is hanging in the wardrobe. You feel their presence. Yes. And when you talk to them with a video call, you see them, you smile, you find that you are getting more connected to them. So let's try to practice all this. And as I said, it's not gender-based. And when you come to the quality time, you must know that it's not just about taking the person to expensive restaurants and traveling and all that. Not all of us can go to Dubai and outside, but you can just make time, just walking in the neighborhood. It's around 6, we are finished eating, even it's exercise. Yes. So you walk with your partner, you hold her hands, and you'll be discussing things, and you laugh. Sometimes you put your hand around the neck, and you see, if you do that, it's even communicate to the others that this is how God wants our marriages to be. So in a way, we are also evangelizing to people that this is how it's supposed to be.
Our love language.
Yes, there's no noises and shout coming from the home. Always they see us happy, so they tend to ask what's going on, this Adventist, and it's also telling something to them. So we should try to, as we have been discussing here, try and practice all of them and pay critical attention. You realize that this is what my partner needs. This is what, when I do, my partner likes it more. So do that for them. And I realized that one client, when we're having a conversation, when he is sick, He realized that he wants the wife to be out at home, caring, doing the soups and all that. But the wife is the type, are you okay? I'm going to work. I'm taking the children out. I'm doing this. So the man was complaining that my wife does not care, as if she was not giving home training. I was asking what? They said, I want soup. When somebody is sick, I want the soup and all that. But she's giving me rice and all that. And I asked her, have you communicated that to your wife? I tell her, but she thinks you are acting too weak. You should be strong. So when I was talking to the other lady, I realized that from her background, she realized, I got to know that when she was growing up, when she's sick, when one of them is sick, they don't really give them that care. It's like, take this medicine and go to school. Take this, also be of yourself.
And be strong.
Yes, you are weakling and all that. So he expects the husband that you are sick, but you are a man, so be strong. At least eat something and don't be lying, covering yourself and all that. Are you a weakling? So I said, no. From where he's coming from, if he's sick, he expects you to give him the care. So do the soups, be at the bedside, take your medicine, give him the glass of water and all that. You see, when you nurture him to health, he will love you more than you thinking that he can do this, but this is not any serious thing that you are lying there. It's you rather discourage him. So please, if your partner is complaining about certain things, don't just take it that they just talk too much. That is what they want. So why not you do it and have a peaceful home?
Okay. Thank you very much. That's a mouthful. Now, let me just add a few things. I think I started talking about words of affirmation, and she gave some further examples. What I will say is that we should make it a point of principle. Words of affirmation are not uttered only when you are physically present, even when you are away. You see, there are some husbands, some wives who do not even talk to each other once they leave home. The next time they hear from each other is when they get back to their house. But you can just pick a phone and call and say, I was just thinking about you, and I just called to say, I love you. That alone is enough. Somebody who appreciates words of affirmation will feel good about it. You can just send a text. I thought of you today. It made me smile. Just that. And so we shouldn't limit it to only when the person is physically present. Calling the person by endearing names, sweetheart, darling, or hima, whatever. Those things melt the hearts of people who appreciate words of affirmation. But you see, like I said, we all love to be called. There was a day I got a text message from my wife, and she was like, what did she even call me? Prince something. I felt so good. Charming. Yeah, I felt so good.
That's great.
You know, now when we do this, we make our partner. There are some people who are unable to really show it by words. Let us do a lot of that. And then, about gifts. What I would say about gifts is that when you are presenting a gift, make it special. You see, it is one thing to give a piece of chocolate to your partner who appreciates gifts. It's nice. If the person loves to receive gifts, the person will jump into the, oh my God, thank you for the chocolate and all that. But you can make it more special. For example, you can slip a note into the wrap of the chocolate. You know, just write a note. I love you, and you are sweeter than chocolate, but I'm just telling you that I love you. That note, somebody who appreciates words of affirmation is likely to keep that note for the rest of her life, for the rest of his life.
Pastor, let me tell you something. On my birthday, I'm a February born. Okay. On my birthday, my husband gave me a chocolate. Okay. I don't know how he did it. He was able to find a way to put my picture on the chocolate.
Wow.
And as of now, I don't know.
You are worshipping.
So I don't know. Now, I've not opened the chocolate.
You are worshipping
because I feel if I open the chocolate, I will distort it. And so I have to probably find a place to hang the picture. So the chocolate is still with me on my table, and I watch it.
You can think of eating it with him on a different
of course,
occasion.
I'll give him some, but I don't want to spoil the picture.
No,
so
well,
I'm still keeping it
all
and
right.
I'm watching it.
And that is a thoughtful one. You see, having the picture and all that, when you receive it, when you unwrap it and you see that it's my picture, wow, meaning
Yes.
he thought about it.
Yes.
He planned it for me, not just get it. So you realize that if you love somebody, you should put in effort. You put in effort to make them comfortable. You realize that all what we are saying, Pastor was saying about the text messages and all that. If you are married, you shouldn't make your love so dry. You see, as you move from 5 years and above, you tend to lose that chemistry and all that.
Yeah.
But if you spice things up, you still have that youthful love feeling that you had when you were with them. It won't be that much, but realize that it still be fresh and it will take you along the way. So sending text messages, mostly have something that if we are sending it an endearment, so when you receive, know that this is coming from my wife, my awesome one, my gifts from God. So just put something there, and if it's regular, whenever he sees, he realize that this one,
something good is coming.
Yes, he smiles. And as you're saying, if the person is not around, now most people don't write letters again, but if you can write a letter, the church is having P.O. box. They receive a letter knowing that it's from you. They read it and they realize that this is what you feel. This is what it's stated in the letter and everything. It's nice. And you even have a journal. Most people, what I've realized that if the couples come and you tell them to list 5 things I like about my partner, list 5 things I don't like about my partner, and you discuss it with them, you realize that they have a lot to say, which their partners are not paying attention. So you can just do the therapy at home, write 5 things that you like about your partner, 5 things you don't like. So things that you like about your partner, things that you don't like, is speaking to you. So the things that your partner is telling you that you don't like, you realize that it's prone to one language. Well, 1 is paramount in it. If it's 5, you realize that 3, it's maybe the quality time, 3 is the physical touch. So you work on that. That is the simple way you can get to know. And with all what we are saying, you realize that if you are able to have this in your marriage, know yourself first, that this is what works for me. And you are open enough to communicate it to your partner, because you realize that your partner is the first point of call to anything.
So you are saying that we should have a discussion on this.
Yes, communicate.
I should be able to tell you,
yes,
this is what I want, and you should be able to tell me what you also want.
Yes, you should be open
But
to your partner.
You see, in our home here, these things are not mentioned though.
Yeah, the problem sometimes is that
if you mention it, it is seen as if you are too promiscuous, or you are some way.
Now, you should be able to say that this is how I love to be treated.
Yeah.
You should be able to tell about yourself. But no, I see a deeper problem where people don't even know themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And that's why I said you need to assess yourself. There are some people who, they know that, when you do it, they are happy. When you don't do it, they are not happy. But for the person to be able to even know himself or herself well and be able to say that these are the kind of things I prefer. These are the things that make me happy. They are unable to tell. And so and most of the time they don't. So I'll give you an inventory. What are the things that have made you happy over the past? I give you a period, and then you are able to discover yourself.
So.
Of course, one of the things that we do is that we will help you to discover yourself. Once you get to know yourself, that is where the communication comes in. You and your partner should be able to sit down and talk. And I encourage couples, make time and talk. Make time and assess your relationship or your marriage. Okay, we have done 5 years, we have done 10 years, we have done 2 months of marriage. In what ways have we done well? In what ways can we improve? Talk about it. Okay, so the last time you did this and I wasn't so happy, so I would prefer it to be done this way or that way, and it makes you happy.
Yeah.
Well, so for the women who are saying that since I married my husband, he has never bought me one cloth, one pin, it is not, it can't be possible. What I mean is, some women are saying that because he has not bought them cloth, he hasn't shown any love. So it is not true. Because it is possible he's showing the love in a particular way, and you're also expecting it in a different way.
He's
so
paying
that
the
statement
fees,
should not be said.
Yes, because he's paying the school fees, although he's not giving you the gift, that receiving gift, but he's paying the school fees, he's paying the rent, he's always feeding and all
clothing,
that. So
even if he's not doing this, even if he's not paying the school fees.
I'm just giving the typical, you understand? Because the typical one, we say that I'm doing this, so out of service, I'm there. And although I'm not giving you pain, I'm spending time with the children. I allow you to go out there to do whatever you do. Yes. I'm at home, sometimes I can cook, I can do all that. So you realize that he's also speaking love language, but you don't understand it, because he's saying different things, Chinese and Japan, and you people don't understand yourself. So don't rush to conclude that your partner does not love you for you to take any stand and destroy the marriage. Rather, communicate to them, this is what I want. This is what I've realized that is lacking in my marriage. You see, marriage works best if you are able to communicate how you feel. Your partner is not a mind reader. So you need to verbalize it.
But in a part of our world, we want you to know it yourself. You should be able to read.
Yeah, unless I'm a witch.
Why? You should be able to read. All this while you can't see. That is the problem.
So now, then I'll be able to read your mind.
Okay, let's take some comments from our viewers. God bless you for this program. It is a good medicine for all sick relationships. This is Joshua from Valley View University. Thank you, Joshua, for that comment. I have one here, but there is no name, but it's quite lengthy. Interesting discussion. However, loving him or her as he or she wants to be loved doesn't contradict Christ's statement. There are many arguments on this call, but the reality is that I want to be loved in a particular way, and she wants to be loved in a particular way. If you relate this to Christ's statement, then just as I want to be loved in a particular way, so shall I also love her in a particular way, just as I want to be loved in a particular way.
Yeah, I think what the person is trying to say is this, is that, I mean, it shouldn't be like, okay, because that's what she wants, that is what I should do. We should, two of us should be able to learn each other's love language. Because, you see, whereas you have yours, I have mine. And so, you should learn mine, and then I learn yours. And so we end up having two languages we are speaking.
Other challenge that we normally see is that, for example, a man who is coming from a home where he wants to save and invest, and the partner is the outgoing, the gift type and all that, would want to impose. Hey, no, I'm teaching you to learn to invest and save. This is not important. Why do you want to spend this? So they tend to be stingy, and so it brings pride. This is where I want you to address.
To know that investing does not mean you should be stingy. You can actually show love by giving. In fact, and honestly, somebody who loves gifts, no matter how big, no matter how small, the person will still appreciate it. The point is that it should simply be thoughtful. And that's why I said, it's not just about giving the gift raw, but think about it. The person has a hobby. The person loves to read. The person loves to write. Give them something that relates with their hobby. It makes more meaning than to just give anything at all. So when it comes to something like gift, for example, I tell people that look at your partner's interests. There are some gifts that the person loves gifts, all right, but there are some gifts that he or she may not appreciate because it may not, a lot of thinking didn't go through it. But if I have a personality of being thrift, as in I'm somebody who loves to save, to invest and all that, it doesn't mean I cannot show love by giving to another person, because honestly, one principle of investing is that the more you give, the more you get.
So with this, you see, if you have a partner who is the gift type, you can take them for window shopping. Let them go see everything. Even you see some people, when they are in that environment, checking the prices and the nice things, trying things on, they are even happy. So at the end, you can just buy just one single item and tell, because of our budget, let's buy this. They will understand. But you just writing the person off that you are too spendthrift, you are too that, will just make the person withdraw. So they can't be open to you and communicate. As I said earlier, marriage works best if you communicate. It's good to save. It's good to save from your investment, but you must also consider your partner. If the person life gifts, when it's anniversary, it's birthdays and all that, it's rather give them something meaningful, something they've been talking about. You see, sometimes if I want this phone, I want this, maybe a book. Some people, they like the books. They just want, buy me this book. I want that. So when you give them that gift, they'll be very happy.
To appreciate it. Let's take this comment. Please, I am Patient from Takwa. My husband doesn't know how to communicate with me at all. What shall I do? So please, you take that question because our time is up. Then what do I do when my husband gets angry at me whenever I communicate with him? That is for you. I think it's all in communication.
Yeah.
You use this to wrap up for me.
So communication is key in every relationship. So if your husband doesn't know how to communicate, you see, you need to initiate it. So talk to your partner, whatever goes on in your day, discuss it with him. And ask him open-ended question. Ask him also, how was your day? Was everything okay at work? Give him more propping, and you see that he will open up to talk with you and talk about interesting things. Look at what his interest is in. Maybe it's the Sabbath school, maybe it's the sports, maybe it's the latest news. So discuss those things with him, and you realize that he's opening up. Maybe you are not discussing his interest. Maybe you are not being so open. The questions is just about always. Most ladies gossip about a lot of things that are not relevant. He's not interested. So look for his interest and don't stop. Communicate more with him. He will open up.
Yeah, the issue of he getting angry. I do not know why, under normal circumstances, someone will be angry when you approach the person. It may be about approach. And for this one, you would need to get to know the person. For example, ask yourself, has there been a time that I have approached him that he wasn't angry? If there was that time, find out how you did it. And then you try to do that one more. I'm sure with that, you should be able to.
Just a second, please put your number across for us.
0243 28 37 84. 0243 28 37 84.
Councillor Perfect.
All right, mine is 020 89 059 12. Again, 020 89 059 12. Thank you.
It has been an interesting discussion here. I've enjoyed myself. I'm sure you have learned a lot. Please, let's take in one or two to spice up our relationship. Whatever marriage problem you are going through, revisit it. Go back, rewind, and go back to these discussions. You will see that it will help you. On this note, I say thank you so much for staying tuned. Same time next week, you come to your airways. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.